Oh. There we go. Hi everybody, how are we doing? RK Stud, Robin Kratzer with you. And welcome to the debut edition. I don't even have a name for it yet. I'll have to come up with something. I guess maybe RK Reads? Where I'm going to go over the comics that I've just read and maybe might just make you interested in buying them or make you just think I'm a total idiot. Anyway, let's get going. It's a big pile. I didn't want it to be this big, but stuff happens. And I've had a lot of stuff happen lately personally that I haven't been able to get to this. And we'll start off with this one. Pre-Comic Book Day. Stories from the Atlas Comics Library. This is from Fantagraphic Books. They will be reprinting all the pre-code Marvel / Atlas Library, it seems like. This one had 6 stories in it. One about a madman, crazy man, kind of styled after Frederick Wertham. He doesn't like comic books, and the editor is trying to tell him, hey, it's alright, everything's fine. Basically, Stan Lee wrote these stories, the majority of these stories in these books. There is also a war story from Korea. It got lost and it was pretty good. It was about a guy fighting in the rain constantly. And somehow he ends up shooting people. I won't say which because it's a shocker. There's also a parody of Dennis the Menace on here called Pasquale the Rascal. And it said the artist kind of drew inspiration from his son that being mischievous and evil. There's other stories in here too, and me and my mom both read it. It took me a while to get it back from her because she was reading it too, and she really liked this. So I think maybe I'll start looking into buying some of these and checking these out. These I gotta. Let's see. I just went through my comic collection, got rid of 7.5 boxes, and about 50-60 trades because I'm scaling back. I'm going to devote my time to my more personal collection. That would be Fantastic Four, Captain America, Incredible Hulk, and you guys are going to be laughing at this one. Gru. Yeah, you heard me. I said Gru. Sergio Aragonés. Gru. Yes, the stupid mendicant wanderer barbarian. So the buyer brought his Gru collection along with the trade. The rest was all in cash, which is fine. No big deal. Some I've already had, but I don't mind having doubles anyway. Gives me readers. Hey, we'll start with Gru 34. Let's see. This was about Arba and Duck Arba needing to find the rest of the pendant for this wizard, and they needed Gru's help, and they kidnapped the sage's dog, and you finally found out the sage's dog's name. Out of it, and Gru gets turned into a fish so he could retrieve the said part of the amulet. Okay, next one that I read was Gru 32. In this one, Gru somehow had made a ton of money. So he goes into a town and everyone's thinking Gru's rich. Which he is, but he gave it to monks in the beginning of the story. And dumb old Gru thinks that people are wanting his help and they'll pay him that money. On top of what I have, all right. So basically, the town is bankrupt and screwed over because Gru being so dumb. Alright, this one might be a little controversial for you. This is Gru number 5. This one, Gru ends up being part of a slave trade group. But he's like, even people being caught as slave is wrong. So he does have a good mind. I'll give him that one. But the first group convinces Gru that it's bad for them to be caught for slaves. And they said, well, and then they caught the crew that Gru was with, and they wanted to make slaves out of them. So it's a little double, funny, but again, did it really need to be that way? Okay, Gru 12. This one was, let's see, was this the... I have to double check. I know which one. One's one and one's the other way. This would be... This is... Okay. Yep. This is Gru 12. This is the one where Gru sees a play and actually thinks that it's for real. Then the acting troupe hires Gru and tries to tell him everything was make-believe until they go to actually see a king. And then peasants from that town actually went after the king, and Gru just kept thinking it was make-believe. Oh, dumb, silly Gru. Gru 15 was... All I need to do is look at a couple. Like I said... Okay, got it. This is the one where Gru decides to become a monk. And all the monks are getting mad at him because he keeps talking and they keep beating him for breaking the vow of silence. And then they start breaking the vow of silence. It was just pure disarray. Let's see, then. I will go with this one next. The Royals Masters of War, number 1. We got based on the title alone. Royals. My mom has been doing the family genealogy. Even though we live here in the United States, she's done genealogy. We are part of our ancestry is in the royal stuff, like Charlemagne's my great, however many times removed uncle. King Rollo's my grandfather. Charlemagne's sister Bertha was my grandmother. So, yeah. That's how far back Mom has traced it. And I hate to say it. I hate to say it, but in our family tree, there's a lot of kings, queens, prince and princesses, and yeah, we're like 5th or 6th cousins removed from Prince Charles and Harry and William. So, that's right. I'm a little royal. I don't consider myself royal, like I said. I'm RK Stud. Okay, and here's a newbie that just came off the shelves. Space Ghost number 1 from Dynamite. This one, they have introduced reintroduced Space Ghost. They kept his look. He's coming in because pirates are attacking the station that Jason, Jan, and their father and Blip are all living at. And of course, Jason, Jan think that Space Ghost is after them too, when in fact, just at the end, there's going to be some redeeming quality. And this trio, along with Blip, all become a family in some way. So that's where that stops. I'm interested in seeing where this goes. So this might just actually be on my pull list. I'm not going to get a pull list. But I'll keep buying issues and checking it out from somewhere. Very good. I especially like the cover too. Hey, Free Comic Book Day Star Wars #1. It had a Darth Vader and a story from Hoth with Leia and Luke and Lando. And was Chewie there too? The Darth Vader one introduced a new storyline character. Well, didn't introduce her, but she helped Luke in the previous Star Wars series. Alright, whatever. The other one with our ragtag group of heroes, they went back to Hoth because they found a signal coming from there. So they go to, rescue people, but there's still Imperials running. Okay, Richie Rich and Jackie Jokers, #8. Yes, I actually read this. There's just some kid craziness going on. One involves going to another country where Jackie Joker sets up and helps set up the business deal and helps make it for Mr. Rich. There's some other kid stories in there. It wasn't too bad. It was all funny. Alright, Pre-Comic Book Day Asterix from Paper Cuts. This, basically, I might have covered it before on Pre-Comic Book Day. This was basically introductory / showing off, trying to tie into this year's Paris Olympics in with it. It taught me some of Asterix, but it leaves you, if you wanting to know more and reading more about him. So I'm kind of interested in that. If I get a hold of any of the books to read, we'll see. We're almost done. Richie Rich, the Poor Little Rich Boy, #245. Again, more mischief and little adventures with hilarity. I'm kind of a Richie Rich fan, but that's also due to the fact of, 79, 80, 81 was when Richie Rich was on Saturday morning cartoons. But they didn't have him as the little boy, they kind of had him as a teen. Maybe about 9, 10, 11, 12-ish. But that was a fantastic cartoon. If you ever catch some episodes, I suggest that. But also this little Richie Rich, it's fine. Mom just happened to buy it at the flea market. Even though I told her what I'm looking for, she still gets me the little kid comics. Mothers, you gotta love them, right? It was just Mother's Day too. Alright. Snoopy, Big Girl Scout Adventures Pre-Comic Book Day. Just reprints Snoopy being a Beagle Scout stories, which is very, very, very... You either like Peanuts or you don't. That's as far as I'll go. I picked it up just because I like Peanuts. Alright, and then we have Free Comic Book Day, Johnny Quest. Dynamite's going to be doing this. They basically set this up to where they were on a boat. It's way in the past, like the 50s. And somehow they got transported to present day, so they're still classic, but in the present day. So I am interested to see where they come up, where this all ends up. There is also a preview for Thundercats and one other preview. I can't remember. Must have been Space Ghost. So that was pretty good too. I really enjoyed that. And then here's a surprise pick. Mom picked this up off the shelves. It's from Scott Snyder, Dudley Datson, and the Forever Machine. So it's really, really good. What can I say about it? A young black boy. He wants to be an inventor. He invents clothes. Then gets embroiled in some heavy-duty Greek stuff. And these people with these weird heads go after him. And the dog can talk. And that was surprising. I really liked it. That was probably the first one Mom read because more or less she bought that one. But that was very good. I hope I didn't bore you. I hope this wasn't too long. Everybody, we'll see you on the next one. Happy reading.